Morning, beautiful. Hello, it's great to see you. And yes, this is the first appearance of the rainbow hat. It's really, well, it is cold actually, but not that cold. It's a bit too cold to wear the other one because the other one's got holes in it because it's lace. Now I'm into rainbows, and the cheat thing is I've got another one underneath because on its own this wouldn't be enough either. So it's getting cooler here. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Kaya. Good morning, Nora. It's great to see you. Whee! We're out here together. Let me show you the day. So, you know, obviously we've got shade here, which is why I'm not wearing a brimmed hat. In fact, forget the day for the moment. Let's look at the flowers. I'll show you the day in a minute. We have some late larkspur, which is being inhabited by a spider. With its little, you know, it's making little spiders in there, so it's made a nest. We have some camellias. It's a little bit old, but still beautiful. Look at that. Faye, good morning. Nesreen, it's lovely to see you. Morning, morning, beautiful beings. So we're just enjoying the flowers. What else have we got here? Who else? What else? We've got this faithful campanula that just flowers all the time. It's glorious. Come on, focus please. There you go. See how veined these flowers are, and they've got these lovely little, hang on, lovely, see the little whatnot in the middle? I don't know what it's called, but it's so pretty. Morning, David. Morning, Dove. Lovely to see you, beautiful beings. There's the lemon tree covered in very green fruit. Something I don't normally show you is a flower on one of my chives plants. There you go. See, it is actually attached. And there's the chives. They start to die down at this time of the year, but it's, you know, it's like a puffball. And the reason why the clover is so long, of course, is because my husband, having sprained his ankle, can't mow the lawns. So it could be a bit meadowy here for a while. I want to show you this. This is obviously a stone, right? But normally it's covered up with greenery. It's quite heavy, it's quite large. Oh, Stamen, thank you, Kaya, educating me. And we actually took it from a beach in New Plymouth and brought it home because I really wanted it here. And it's beautiful. And I can't tell you a thing about its geology, but it's lovely. Obviously, you know, these colours. Wendy, good morning. Zia, good morning. Just enjoying some of the outside things. This is a scented pelargonium. If you just rub the leaves, it smells gorgeous. What else have we got here? We have the magnolia tree gearing up for spring. See the buds? They go all the way through the winter before they come into flower. So always everything is looking forward. Bright foliage on a feverfew plant. Good morning, Vinay. I think it's you. I can't read Hindi, but I hope I'm guessing right. Lovely to see you all here today. All right, and there's... All right, now it's time to show you the sky. Here is the sky. It is blue with teeny little wisps of cloud here and there, but not really much. And here's the sun coming up. Soaring seabirds up there. And there's a little wind, and you will see in a little while this wattle tree will burst into blossom, be covered in yellow. So, yeah, that's what's happening here. Right, get to the thing. Now, I took a risk today, not wearing a brimmed hat on the grounds that, yeah, the sun's not going to get in my eye if I stay on this side of the lawn. So I want to talk about worthiness, because it's a thing that comes up, you know, this whole thing of, oh, my self-worth is bad, and I don't feel good about myself, and I'm unworthy, and, you know, and that is the thing that sits underneath almost always, without fail, really. A feeling of not being worthy is what sits underneath the fact that whatever it is you want in your life, you just can't freaking well get it. You're right, Linda. Nature never looks back. What's the point? It's dead. It's gone. Let's move on. We've got to grow or die. And there's a message in that for you and me. So, Jocelyn, morning, beautiful. So this whole thing of feeling worthy of love, feeling worthy to be well, feeling worthy to be wealthy, feeling well to be happy, feeling worthy to be whatever. Thump, okay. That's what happens when I get a text. Oh no, it's loud. It's louder for you than it is for me. It's like, how do I improve my self-worth? And the first thing I realised eventually is that self-worth is kind of an oxymoron, in that we don't have to become worthy. We actually are born worthy. We really are. There's no little baby that's born feeling, I'm a sinner, I'm bad, I'm dirty, I'm broken, there's something wrong with me. Little babies don't know that. They don't. They are just little babies and their hearts are wide open and they want nurture and support and what happens after that is another story. The point is, nobody is born that way. Nobody is born feeling lousy about themselves. We're all worthy of immortality, Kaya, and here's the secret. We are all immortal anyway. The body isn't immortal, but you are. Just a sideline. So, I don't have to become worthy. I already am. The question is, do I feel it? Right? Do I feel worthy? If worthiness is innate to being human, and oh my goodness, the more I got to do something, otherwise this is going to get blown off. The more I become myself, right? That's a long story, I'm not telling you. The more I understand, the more insights I gain of what an incredible thing it is to be human. And I don't mean, oh my God, it's amazing to be alive, although it is amazing to be alive. I mean, from a galactic standpoint, Julian, good morning, gorgeous, from the point of view of the limitless numbers of infinite ascended and evolved, non-corporeal and corporeal beings that are not on this planet. They look at us doing what we're doing, being human, being here in this deep polarity, being an expression of the divine observer having an experience, which is, the divine observer wants to experience everything, right? That just, you think that spirit is awe-inspiring? Ashki, it's gorgeous to see you. They just look at us and say, oh my God, you're there deep in that illusion. You're helping to change the universes with your elevation. You don't know that, but that's what you're doing. And wow, Mary, good morning. That's how they feel about us. And of course, we think, wow, about them. We get awed when we get visited by, an interdimensional being or some visitation of light or, some amazing connection that completely changes you. You think, wow, there's, the cosmos is huge. The universe is amazing. There's all this stuff in it that I couldn't perceive before. And you have this really powerful experience and it changes you, right? Wow. But that's how they feel about us. Because they see what we're doing from their perspective, and it's amazing that we do this, that we're actually waking up and remembering that we're more than flesh and blood and, and our pasts and all that stuff. So this whole thing of I am not worthy is complete bullshit. The real problem, if there is a problem, is I don't feel worthy. And why that's important... Head to the bridge, Julian. Yeah, the shields for the camels. Camels, in case anybody's wondering what the hell the conversation about camels is bumps in the internet. It's smooth as for me. I usually get one at the beginning of the thing and sometimes occasionally, but for some people it's pixelated, it doesn't work properly, and they have to watch the replay. So if you hear people talking about camels and holodecks and knitting shields, and that's another story, that's what it's about. Trying to keep the camels at bay through love and intention and humour. So if you don't feel worthy, then you're resonating in a state of unworthiness, and you are sending a signal, a very clear and coherent, a clear and coherent, incoherent signal. It says, O divine observer, O universal mind, I have mastered the state of unworthiness. Bring me an experience to give me more of that, and bring it in a way that surprises me. That's what we're doing. Yusuf, it's beautiful to see you. We cannot help but give the universe instructions. We do it with every breath. We manifest every moment. And how we do it is in our state of being, how we think, how we feel, and how we act. That's it. That's what creates your reality. So if you go through life feeling unworthy, the only things that are a resonant match to that are things that go with being unworthy. Okay, fine, I understand my problem. Thanks, Maddie. I've been feeling unworthy for 40 years. Hello, I kind of relate to that. Not so much unworthy, but, similar level of density and, oh God, I can't shift this. So how do you change it? You had to learn to feel unworthy because you weren't born like that, remember? Just look at any newborn baby. They're just source energy in a little body, completely blank. The brain is in delta. They're asleep while they're awake, when they're awake. That's why they sleep so much for the first 2 years, because they're in delta. The brain's in delta. It's like they're asleep, really. And then at about age 2, the brain goes into theta. Theta from age 2 to about 7. And theta is hypnosis. Hello? There is no intellectual filter to say, oh my God, you're telling me I'm bad, and that's complete bullshit because I know I'm a piece of divinity stuffed into a human body. No, it's just, oh, you say I'm bad? I'm bad. Right, okay. It all goes in. And then, after 7, 8, 9, 10 through to 12, you're kind of developing the analytical mind, and by 12 it's sort of there and you're in beta like everybody else doing what you're doing. You have the ability to say no. Or yes, or whatever. But if you learned to feel unworthy or you learned to feel bad, you got programmed. Totally got programmed by people who were doing the best they could with what they had, even if it was absolute shite, believe it or not. People who do absolute shite, it makes sense to them. It doesn't make sense to you and me, but it makes sense to them. So you get programmed by people who are doing the best they can with what they've got. And you got to sometimes wonder what it was that they got programmed with. People generally improve on their programming, but, they might only improve on it a little bit. Depends. Anyway, if you learned to feel small, to feel stupid, to feel incapable, to feel, unloved, to feel grief, like my whole life is about loss because I just keep losing people and things and everything that matters, whatever it is, you can learn to feel something else. You can actually teach yourself to feel something else. Now, why does that matter? Because if you can teach yourself to have a different emotional experience and you can teach yourself to think different thoughts, Brenda, good morning, gorgeous, well then you're sending different instructions to the universe and it's finally able to say, oh my God, she's giving us some different instructions, thank heavens. We can send some more good stuff her way. And that is literally how it works, and I have to say I'm seeing it. Yeah, I love the hat too, Mary. It was knitted to me by a lovely friend in Norway, and I've adored it ever since. So, we've got to stop focusing on what the cause of the thing was and put attention, and they're all justified. It's all, okay, that word justified has reminded me. You can have extremely good reasons to say, people dumped on me, they made my life hell, they hurt me, and they did. And that's why I feel the way I do. Okay, sure. But are they really worth you putting your energy and your attention onto playing that story in your mind and your body one more time and making it real? And saying, oh, infinite mind, divine observer, I have mastered the state of saying that these people and that past is what defines me now. So bring me another experience to surprise me, to give me more of that. Really? Is that worth telling the story one more time? They had their reasons. They justified their shitty behaviour. by saying, well, I whatever, and unconsciously, of course, this happened to me, so I'm going to be mean to you, whatever. But do you really, it's not worth it. Nobody and nothing is worth doing that to yourself. So we've got to stop even mentioning those people and telling the story. I've talked about the fact that sometimes I do actually go into the feeling of something so that I can understand it. But only if I really need to, only if it's actually useful, and then only for as long as it takes to get it. After that, I'm out of there. Because I know what it's doing to me. I know what it's done to me for the last however long. So if you could be programmed to feel that bad, you, as a conscious being in a body, can program yourself to feel differently. I feel like I'm sort of stating something so bluntly obvious. It's like, Maddie, stop telling us how to suck eggs. But the thing is, I don't know, I kind of needed this stuck in my face a few times. And I guess I did need to know how. I did need to understand. You know what I said about the brainwaves, how a child, when they're born, they're in delta. Like, they're asleep with their eyes open when their eyes are open. And then between 2 and 7, they're in alpha. Like, they're hypnotized. They're in theta, I beg your pardon. So it's about 8 cycles a second, and they're in hypnosis. So everything goes straight in, right? And then, you go up through the brain waves, your brain starts functioning faster as you get older. The point being, if the program went in when you were in theta and in alpha, maybe, as you get older, you're still absorbing these things, wouldn't it be a good idea to go back into theta to remove that program and put another one in? So you see, that's what, yesterday I was saying, you can't think your way into this. Thinking, analysing, putting stuff together is a function of the conscious mind. You've got to get past your conscious mind. Yeah, your story is terrible, Kaya, but when you say it's terrible, you make it terrible. Okay, so you brought up something really, really valuable, something I was going to completely miss. Thank you so much, sweetheart. It's terrible, and you say that, and I can feel this. You say it, and you feel the terribleness of it in your body. And you know what that is? You fired that circuit, my story is terrible, and you fired that a lot. And we do this, okay, I'm not beating up on you, honey. Thank you for giving us this beautiful example. You fire those circuits, and there's chemistry that flows into your body as soon as you fire them. Lynn, good morning. Aralyn, good morning, beautifuls. That chemistry then has conditioned your body for many years to say, my story is terrible. I feel terrible. This is who I am. This is my resonance. This is my biology. This is how it is. And you think, oh my God, I can't get out of this because my story is so terrible. That's not the truth. Not according to what I have learned and what I know. You can't get out of it easily. You can get out of it. You find it difficult to get out of it because your body is conditioned to that chemistry and it's an addict to that chemistry. You don't want to live that story anymore, but your body is very used to that. So even when you start thinking, and I know you've experienced this because I know you're on this journey, even when you start saying, I want to think differently and I want to feel differently and I want to do different things, and you start to make some progress, right? And then you think, oh my God, today I just feel like throwing it all out the window, or somebody does something and you want to yell at them, whatever it is, And your body is starting to throw the kitchen sink at you because it says, and I'm quoting Joe here, hey, what are you talking about? Where's my chemistry? I modified my receptors for you because you gave me so much of this that I made my cells adapt to the fact that there's so many of these stress hormones, so many of these unworthiness hormones, whatever, and you're totally addicted to the thoughts and the feelings. Absolutely right, Nesreen. It's so powerful. So we actually get addicted to our worthiness. Now, I stress, you can be addicted to a thought or a feeling and a life that you don't even want. Because it's the biological conditioning that makes it feel really familiar and makes it really easy to go there and makes it really hard to go somewhere else. That's why change is so challenging. Because you have to overcome that conditioning. And you have to go deep. in my experience, you have to go deep to do it. It's quite right. Just hypnotic suggestion can really only be removed by another hypnotic suggestion. The point is, if you were hypnotized by your parents or your environment or your school teachers or bullies or whatever when you were young, cool, not cool, whatever, it's a fact that that's what happened, and that fact is cool. You can learn to reprogram yourself. You can do it. That is cool. It might seem like you got trying to climb a mountain and you haven't even got a rope, but you can break the addiction to the feelings. And to do that, you have to get the analytical mind out of the way. You can't think your way out of this stuff because it's programmed, right? But you can change it. You can change it. You just got to get deep. I don't know of any other way to do it, because remember, if you have a super highway in your brain, and by that I mean when you think a thought, and then you think a thought, and you think a thought, and you think a thought over and over again, which is what you do when you learn something, and you think it again, that's remembering it. First time you think it, it's oh my God, that's something new. And then you fire it and wire it again and again and again. Literally, little dendrites on the ends of the neurons, they join hands with other neurons. And they make connections, and the more you fire that thought, the more connections get made. So it starts off being like a little patch that you bushwhack through the jungle, and the more you fire and throw it, it's like, well, you go through with the machetes and you clear away the jungles and the lianas, and you don't worry about the environmental impact. The metaphor breaks down, but the footpath gets wider, and then it becomes this, it becomes a proper path, and then you can get bigger. And this is how you build a new chip, Kaya. This is actually how you're building your chip, but you've got to realise that you're pushing against all the resistance of your old programming. And it's possible, because if I can reprogram myself, you can sure as heck reprogram yourself. You probably look at me and think, Maddie, it really wasn't that hard for you. No, it wasn't, but it was still bloody hard to reprogram myself. My own internal whatever it was really dense and really immovable for me. And I really have, done that, and I'm doing it. And yeah, this is cool. I got to finish with this. I know I'm out of time. When you learn something, you make those new connections and neurons in your brain. Depending on the emotional context of the learning is how much you really pay attention and get it. Wow, what an amazing experience. Lots of connections. Oh, that was interesting, just a few. But if you fire it again, then you strengthen those connections. Learning is making connections, remembering is maintaining them. That's exactly what I learned from Dr. Joe, and it's so true, and it's wow, yeah. Thinking it again, remembering, strengthening the connections, firing the chemistry off again, conditioning your body. That's how it works. It's so potent. It's so, really, it's that simple? Yeah, it is that simple. I didn't say it was easy, but it is that simple. That is how it works, and that is our power. That's how we can change our lives. That's how you can take out the old SIM card and put in a new one. All right, I know I'm out of time. Super big love. Thank you for joining with me. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.